Shalom. It's the Israelite School of Universe from Practical Knowledge, started one web, 125th Street, Harlem, New York City, under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. All right. This I.S.U.P.K, Four Waynes, No Cowards Live class. And today's topic, we're going to be going in on Christmas, right? We're going to be going on Christmas, and how Christmas ain't got nothing to do with no loving spirit. Christmas don't got nothing to do with caring and loving and giving. It don't have nothing to do with Christ, who Yahweh Mashiach, who is Jesus Christ. It has nothing to do with the Bible, has nothing to do with the priests and prophets of God. It has nothing to do with God himself. The worship of Christmas is a satanic holiday. A satanic holiday. Christmas is passed down from a Greek mythology culture. You understand? This is something that's passed down all the way from Babylon. You understand? Conquered from the Greeks and all the way passed down into today's time in America. And now what we call it Christmas is Santa Claus, when all of it is a lie. It has nothing to do with loving each other, nothing to do about caring, nothing to do about loving your children, or nothing to do about Christ himself. It's all lies. You understand? It's something that we can prove with the Bible and with archaeology facts. You understand? This ain't nothing. There's nothing about biased work or biased sayings that we got to say that we saying ourselves. This is something that's coming from the Bible. You understand? We could pull it from the Bible that Christians don't got nothing to do with Christ. You understand? It's the worship of Satan. It's a worship of Satan. This has nothing to do with God. Most High God didn't put it in the Bible for us to celebrate Christmas and give and put Christmas presents underneath a tree. You understand? And to celebrate every year on December 25th. That's not of God. You understand? The Most High didn't put that in the Bible for us to do, right? So let us get the first scripture we're gonna go to is Genesis 4 and 12, right? Let's get Genesis chapter 4 and verse 12 is our first scripture. All right. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto ye her strength, a fugitive and a vagabond. Now, what I want to go to this for, because it was talking about Esau, talking about the white man, right? And this right here in Genesis, the 4th chapter, the 12th verse, is talking about how he's a fugitive and a vagabond. A vagabond is a person that wanders place to place without a home. You understand? Fugitive is somebody that's wanted. Now, for this is to set the stance to go further on when we pull out most scriptures. The so-called white man in America is not his home. All right. The white man in America does not have a home. He's a fugitive and a vagabond. He does not have a home. He's not from anywhere. He does not have a culture. He doesn't have a religion. Everything that he does and everything that he celebrates and everything of his ritual is stolen. You understand? The so-called white man in America has stolen everything. The so-called Christians, as we know today, was stolen from a Babylonian god, Nebuchadnezzar. This is all stolen. Stolen history, stolen archaeology. America, everything America is founded on is originally stolen. This man, Lord, we just read in Genesis 4 and 12, it says a fugitive and a vagabond. A vagabond is a person without a home, a person without a place to go. And he's a vagabond, wandering from place to place. The so-called white man in America does not have a home. America is not his home. What we know is America today as hamburgers and sports. This is not his culture. This is all stolen culture. He does not have an imagination. The white man, any music that he listens to or any music that he makes, any food that he makes is not his own. You understand? This man is a liar, is a thief and a murderer. All right. And that's what I want to read on first. Now, since we established that, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. All right. We're going to go to Jeremiah 28 and 8. And we're going to break down how this ain't like how we go in the streets now in America today. Right. And we break down and go against this huge empire in America. We go against all these great government empires and we speak out against them as priests and prophets of the Lord. This is not the first time where priests and prophets of the Lord speak out against a huge, great, strong army. You understand? This is not the first time where priests and prophets ever spoke out against Christmas. You understand? And we're going to read it for you. We're going to read Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. And we're going to break it down how the prophet Jeremiah spoke out against Christmas in his time. This is nothing new. Everything that we experiencing today and we think that we know as we know Christmas today about loving and gifts and hugs and cheering, that has nothing to do with the Bible. It has nothing to do with Christ. It's a false and it's a lie. It's something that your Christian pastor uses to get gain and uses to make more money for himself and make more money for his church when it has nothing to do with God at all. You understand? So let's go to Genesis 28 and verse 8. Let's get that. Excuse me. Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before the old prophecies, both against many countries. See, it's saying, Jeremiah is saying the prophecies before me and the prophets before me against old countries. This ain't the first time that we experiencing this. This ain't the first time where prophets speaking out against so-called Christians or speaking out against pagan holidays that the Black and Hispanic and Native Indian are celebrating. These rituals that we celebrate are not given to us. The Most High God didn't put us on the earth for Blacks and Hispanics to celebrate Christmas, to celebrate these pagan holidays and put a false title on Christ's name, saying this is his birthday or saying this is all about the giving and loving of each other when it's all a farce and a lie. This is nothing new. You understand? It said in Jeremiah 28 and 8, it says, many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil, pestilence, of great kingdoms. This is great. America is a great kingdom. America is a million, trillion, quadrillion empire that is built off of Christmas. American economical system is built off of Christmas. If America didn't have Christmas, it would not be able to thrive. You understand? If it wasn't, we didn't go out and buy Christmas gifts, America would not be able to survive. You understand? America makes its most profitable money off of the celebration of Christmas. And number one, the Blacks and Hispanics celebrating Christmas, a pagan holiday, which we should not celebrate. Okay? And with that, let's go. Now let's jump down to let's go to Jeremiah 10 and 1. And we're gonna get into the meat of it. All right. And we're gonna break this thing all the way down. All right. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Now, it was so important when did Jeremiah say the old house of Israel? Because what he about to bring out and what he about to break down, this derives directly into Blacks, Hispanics, and so-called Native American Indians. This is speaking straight into us. That's how you know this Bible is for us. It say, "O house of Israel," the Black, Hispanics, and so-called Native American Indians. Verse 2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the ways of the heathen. Why is it so important that he got to say, "O house of Israel, learn not the ways of the heathen"? Learn not the ways of the heathen is talking to Blacks and Hispanic, telling them not to learn the ways of society, not to learn the ways of the Greek, of the Roman, of the Americans. Learn not the ways of these heathens. These ways of life that we learn today in America, we are not supposed to learn this. We're supposed to really look back and say, what are we doing wrong? How come every time Christmas time come around, the crime rate in the Black community shoots through goddamn ceiling roof? Why is that? Why is every time we go out and we're going to celebrate, I have a good Christmas, every time the crime rate shoots up, the burglary rate shoots up, the murder rate shoots up? Because what they portray to Black and Hispanics, that today in the times of Christmas and the days of loving, they tell you that Christmas is a time about loving and hugging and a joyful spirit, when really Christmas is a time of the dark, evil time and the evil spirit for Blacks and Hispanics. Because this Christmas is a satanic holiday. You understand? It's a holiday, a pagan holiday, the worship of a god, a worship of many gods that's passed down and adopted by other kingdoms and societies. That now we get all the way down in today's time in America, where we call it Santa Claus and we call it Christmas and we call it the birth of Christ on December 25th, when it's all a farce and a lie. You understand? When all of it is adopted holidays, adopted by other pagan gods that we're not supposed to be celebrating. And this is something in your Christian church that your pastor is supposed to tell you. Your Christian pastor is supposed to tell you that Christmas is not the birth of Jesus Christ. Christmas is not this, it's not supposed to be a celebration of Jesus Christ. What it really is a pagan holiday. You understand? Just like we read in the book of Jeremiah, where it says, the Lord saith, learn not the way of the heathen. We're not supposed to be learning the way of the heathen. We're not supposed to be learning the ways of the society, the ways of America, the ways of the Roman gods and the Greek gods. These things are we're not supposed to be learning at all. That's why it's no coincidence when Blacks and Hispanics go and try to attempt to celebrate Christmas, and they and our idiotic theory to think that this is Christ's birthday, our way to go and celebrate Christmas, the crime rate shoots through the roof. The murder rate shoots through the roof. The burglary rate shoots through the roof. The statistics is not lying. Every time Blacks and Hispanics, every single year, we go and try to celebrate these holidays, the crime rate shoots through the goddamn ceiling roof, man. It's because this is not a time for us to be loving and joining and celebrating and holding hands at a day that we call the Christmas Day, and putting Christmas trees in our house and putting Christmas gifts underneath the tree. This is not a day for us. This is not a holiday for Blacks and Hispanics. You understand? All right, let's get some more. We're in Jeremiah 10:2. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Now, when Jeremiah said, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, meaning the star that goes on top of that Christmas tree. You know, it's an everlasting, it's a palm tree that they put inside the house. You deck it. They put crowns and silver on top of the Christmas tree, and they put on top of the Christmas tree, they put a star. They put a star as a worship of a god, Saturnalia, which we know as a god of the stars. It's like the planet Saturn, which was named after the god Saturnalia. Saturnalia was a god that they named a star after in the middle of the skies of heaven. During the middle of the night on December 25th, you will look up and you will see a star in the sky. And they were saying, look how beautiful that star is underneath this Christmas tree. That Christmas tree will have a star above it, which what they will later on name it Saturnalia. Saturnalia will become a worship of a god, a Greek god. You understand? Passed down through many times, the names has changed, but it's in the Bible, which we're gonna get down to. We're gonna break it down. All right. All right. So let's get some more. Let's read it from the top. Hear not the word which the Lord spake of unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. The heathen, it's saying the heathen because the heathen means pagan, just like pagan. They will go up and they will look up into the signs of heaven. They will look up into the stars of heaven and really worship that star. They took the star, put it on top of the Christmas tree, and it all get passed down in today's time. Well, now you put a Christmas tree in your house, a palm tree. You would put a palm tree in your house and put a star at the top of the palm tree, and it's because the worship of Saturnalia. You understand? And that's why Jeremiah is telling you Don't be dismayed at the stars of heaven, the signs of heaven. Don't look up in the signs of heaven and be dismayed at it, thinking that you got to make some type of God out of this star. It was not, this star is not up there to be worshipped. All right. For the customs of the people are vain. Meaning it's nothing. It's a lie. It's vain. It has no power in it. The customs of the people are vain. This is not the worship of Saturnalia, the worship of Christmas is this vain. It has no power at all to it. You understand? This the worship of Saturnalia, the worship of Babylon, the worship of Christmas is all vain. It's all crooked. It's all a lie. It has no power in it at all. It's not meant for blacks and Hispanics to celebrate. You understand? That's why you can have priests and prophets. That's the whole point of a priest and prophet. A prophet is going out telling the people what they don't want to hear. You need prophets, especially in today's time. We need prophets. Look at the black and Hispanic society. Look at our communities. Why are we celebrating Christmas? Why we know it's like a common fact that we know this is not Christ's birthday. We know this. We know this is not Christ's birthday. We know this don't have nothing to do with God. We know it don't have nothing to do with the Bible, and we still going out and celebrating Christmas. Still going out running the credit card bill up. Still going out to the stores and Macy's and Target and all the department stores to buy and celebrate this Christmas and pagan holiday when we know it has nothing to do with God at all. Yet we still going to do it. It's vain. It's vain. It's a religion for the pagan, a pagan religion, a religion for the heathens, a religion that is not for blacks and Hispanics. You understand? So let's get some more. And this is Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 3. For one cut of a tree out of the forest. Now I would say one cut of a tree out of the forest. The same thing that you do, but blacks and Hispanics, a lot of people get fake trees now that you got stuffed in your goddamn closet somewhere, that you every day Christmas coming out, 12 days before Christmas, you get to turn on Christmas music and Christmas holiday, and you pulling some fake tree out your closet. But with people that got more money, what they would do, they would go to the forest. You would get a tree, you would chop the tree down. After you get the tree, you'll bring it to your house, you put it in water, you dock it with silver and gold, you put a star at the top of the tree. These things that you would do with a tree, and it's in the Bible. Christmas is in the Bible, but not in the Bible for us to celebrate it. You understand? Now, let's go on and read some more. For one cut of a tree out of the forest, the work of the handman's work with an axe. You will take an axe, you will chop the tree down. You're going to take the tree. After you chop the tree down, they put it out for you to sell it. You take the tree, you buy the tree, and you put it in your house. And this is everything that we do into society today. Now let's finish reading in the book of Jeremiah. All right. They would deck it with silver and with gold. This is in the Bible, the King James Holy Bible. It's telling you that they will go and get a tree out of the forest and chop it down. The work of the handman's work with an axe. They would deck it with silver and gold and fasten it with nails and with hammer, that it will move not. The same thing we do today. The same thing blacks and Hispanics do today. You go get a tree, you deck the tree with silver and gold, you fasten it down. It's at that little thing where you put the water in, you fasten it with the silver and the nails and the hammer, and then you deck the Christmas tree out, and it's all symbolic. It's all a symbolic ritual. This did not start in America. We've been in slavery for America for 400 years. This thing with getting a Christmas tree and decking it with balls and decking it with silver and gold, this is symbolic. This didn't start in America. The silver the silver and gold that you would deck it with those balls are symbolic for children's head. The children's head will put on that tree, just like if you be what we tell our kids, if you be naughty, you won't get no gifts for Christmas. If you be naughty, you're not going to get any gifts from Santa Claus. Santa Claus is not going to bring you no gifts. That is symbolic for what they really did. And what they really did in the origin of Christmas. What they really did was if the children were naughty, you would go take the children, chop their head off, and hang it from the tree. When everybody will come out the next day and they will see the children's head on the goddamn tree. That's what they would do. The Christians, the origin of Christians is really a slaughtering and killing of trees. I mean, children, and put on the tree. You understand? Start with Crumpus, passed down to Janice, passed down to Saturnalia, all the way down to Santa Claus. Everything is just passed down. It's passed down. It's just an adopted religion, an adopted and exhort religion that's just passed down, and it's all symbolic symbols of what really went on, in the time of Christmas. And that's why the book, and we can go into the book of Jeremiah, and Jeremiah is telling us not to be dismayed at the signs of heaven. Jeremiah is telling us not to worship not to worship Christmas, and not to worship these satanic holidays, and not to be dismayed at these signs of heaven, meaning not to worship these gods, these Saturn gods, the stars in the sky, the Christmas tree, and don't be afraid of it. That's why he was telling us to do it, man. That's why you need priests and prophets to tell you we are not supposed to be a people to celebrate Christmas. All right. Now, with that, let us go to Amos. As a matter of fact, let us finish reading some of Jeremiah, the 10th chapter. All right. Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 5. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak of. And Jeremiah is speaking, saying this is upright like a palm tree, but it speak of not. This tree that you go get every year, that you pull out your goddamn closet and put up and deck it, light it up with stars and light it up with lights. This same tree that you decking, that you afraid of, speak of not. This tree is not telling you to go put it up in this house. This tree does not have any power. You understand? Okay. Let's get some more. They must need be brawn because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is in it to do good. Meaning, don't be afraid of this tree, because this tree cannot do evil to you. This tree cannot cast an evil spirit on you if you don't go put it up, deck it, and put water inside the bucket, fasten down with nails, and make it look good, make it bright light. This tree does not have any power. It's vain. It can't do evil and it cannot do good. But because of our worship of Satan, that when we go inside that church and we really think that we serving God, when we really serving Satan, it's in our lustful spirit to go and serve this God. It's in our lustful spirit to go serve Christmas and serve these pagan gods, because we think that we really are serving Christ. We really think that we are really doing something good, and really think that it's about being good and celebrating the joyful spirit and loving, when really it is not. When really it's all a farce and a lie. It's all a pagan holiday. It's all of your lustful spirit and your lust of want, your lust of getting this and your lust of wanting that. You celebrate Christmas. It's a lustful spirit that you putting on your own children. Your children think that you got to have money to buy them, to love them. Because if you don't buy your children Christmas gifts, what do your children think? Your children think that you don't love them. Your children think that you don't love them if you're going to celebrate Christmas. You understand? Because if you don't buy your kids Christmas gifts on December 25th, they think that you don't love them. But just because that you don't get Christmas gifts does not mean that you don't love your children. You understand? In fact, if you don't buy your kids Christmas gifts, means that you do love your children. You understand? And we teaching our kids this pagan holiday and these pagan customs, and they got us thinking that we love our children by buying these worshiping these satanic holidays, when really it's all just a farce and a lie. You understand? It's all a farce and a lie. You understand? And it has nothing to do with Christ. It has nothing to do with God. All right. Bear with me just 1 second. All right. We're gonna go to